Let's do this poop.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know about that one, but... Hi guys, welcome to this month's novelty, which is February. This month we're going to talk about love. I'm Valerie, Digital Marketing Associate.
I'm Savannah, I'm Digital Marketing Assistant. I'm Morgan, I'm the Publicity Assistant.
I'm Bill, I'm the Marketing Coordinator.
And I'm Natalie, and I'm the Trade Marketing Assistant. Yep. So I asked you guys on Instagram last week for different questions or like different topics you want us to talk about. And since it's February, we're going to talk about love. But love is just not confined to February.
No, we only love during February. The other 11 months of the year, we fight.
Yeah, we spar. The first question is, what is your favorite book ship? Titanic is not a book ship. If you know, you know.
But it's a great love story.
Oh my god.
That surpasses time.
Let's start with Bill. Okay, Bill.
I have alluded to this before, but I still spend a ridiculous amount of time reading Harry Potter Draco Malfoy fanfiction and have alerts set on Archive of Our Own for ongoing ones. So I'm gonna go with those two.
There we go.
Hashtag Drary.
Oh my god. So I have a lot of ships. So my original ship, I read Percy Jackson when it came out. So I was an original Percival shipper.
Yes.
First book, I was like, they're meant to be, they're in love, and lo and behold, as the books came out, I was like,
even through the pits of
hell, literal hell. Oh my god. And then the other one that I guess my most recent ship is the Sun. Is in the Sun is also a star. Daniel and Natasha. I loved them together. They're so cute. They're just little balls of sunshine. And I just love them very much.
Have you seen the trailer?
Have I seen? Has she seen?
Chris Melton.
Oh my god.
Dreamy.
Oh. I was like sweating at my desk. Did you watch it?
I did see it.
Alright, so my favorite book ship, I say this all the time, Eli, and I forget her name from Along for the Ride. I usually don't remember like the main character because like she's narrating it, so I like always forget their name, but like Eli and Alden are my favorite. I do love them. Yeah, from Along for the Ride by Sarah Desmond.
So I have two. So Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth are
God bless.
such a classic. They're beautiful, they're wonderful, I love them forever. But my other one is from Lord of the Rings. It's Eowyn and Faramir. They're so cute. They're so cute. Okay, but I watched the movies when I was younger. They were like the first PG-13 movies I ever saw. It's fine, whatever. I'm obsessed. But I didn't read the book until like a few years ago. So then I was reading the book, and there is a part that is not in the movies. It's in the extended house of healing. Yes. I was screaming. Like, the world is ending, and I'm over here like, oh my god, they're getting together! Ah! Like, it was ridiculous. So, yeah, they're good.
Savannah has taste, y'all.
I brought two books too, but it's because obviously Twilight has to be included in this. Edward and Bella are just dreams, and I love them. But also, I'm doing what you're doing, and I'm totally drawing a blank. But Delirium by Lauren Oliver, the two main characters who fall in love, and he, like, if you haven't read Delirium, it's about a world where love is, you have to be cured of love, and so when you're 18, you, like, have to be cured, and she's, like, can't wait to be cured, and he's, like, rebel with a cause, and wants to love her, and it's amazing, and I'm totally like, that series, if you haven't read it, is literally mind-blowing. Yeah. It's so good. So those are my two.
Who is your favorite LBYR romance? Morgan. Every answer is just like
throws it across the screen. But I also brought Thrill Like a Girl because I am like in love with this book that's coming out in the fall, and so fluffy and wonderful and
so
cute.
good.
It's like every dream high school romance that you've ever wanted is in this book.
Morgan, what is it about?
Oh, thrill like a girl. It's about Liv, who is a softball player at a private school, and she punches someone for valid reasons, in my opinion. And she ends up getting, yes, very valid. She ends up getting kicked out of her private school and has to go to the public school, and is recruited by the injured quarterback to be the new quarterback of the public school. And it's really great. And girl power.
So this one is like kind of a cheat because I haven't read this in a book yet, but Strange the Dreamer. It's so good. It's so romantic, and I was crying at my dad, like almost like you know those like big gloopy tears. So Strange the Dreamer, read it. It's really good. It's a beautiful story. And also, I just finished reading The Bone Houses.
Oh, that romance is really great too.
It's so good. It's so good. There was a paragraph in there where he's like talking about so it's from Ellis's perspective, and he's talking about like how she's it's right there. But he's talking about how like the light is like filtering across her hair, and like how I was just like it was a lot.
The story of like how they fell in love too was like,
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna read it next.
Speaking of Emily Lloyd Jones, my favorite LBY romance is The Hearts We Sold. It's Dee and James's romance. It's so great, except it kills you at the end. I didn't expect the ending to come, and then I read it on the train, and I almost threw the book, but it's fine, I didn't. My favorite from years past is Claire and Aiden from Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith. I read this book at the end of high school, which is their story starts at the end of their high school career. They're about to go off to college, and bawled my eyes out.
I guess it was like really timely for you.
Yeah, it like hit home because it's like they're like Claire and Aiden have been in like a relationship for 2 years, and this is the book takes place over one night, and they're deciding whether or not they should stay together before they leave for college. And it like tells the whole story of like how they fell in love, and then also but like asks the question just like every like high school relationship asks, like, do we stay together, like we're going to change, like we're going to be on opposite ends of the country or wherever you're going, and it was just so, it was very timely for me, so that one really hit home. And then I'm going to cheat with my second book. Sorry. Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James by Ashley Herring Blake. This is technically a middle grade, but Sunny and Quinn are just too adorable, so I wanted to.
I brought Darkest Part of the Forest because Ben and Severin are my favorites. If you like Carden's Tale,
Oh my god.
Severin has horns, and he wears Ben's sweater and swivels in the chair, and it's the cutest thing in the entire world. It's like a literal like Snow White setup too, except less problematic than Snow White. It's great.
Into it.
Yeah, fairy prince and musician, human boy. So much.
So, what would be your perfect first date?
I don't know about a favorite first date, because I feel like first dates are very much about learning whether or not you like a person.
Yeah.
So my like ideal date in general after like being in a relationship with someone would be like picnic at twilight in a graveyard. It's weird, I know.
No, but that's
not
not It is on brand.
I'm a big fan of dates that are like adventures, where it's just like two of you out and about and like spending time together, and whatever you wind up doing is what you wind up doing, but it's mostly about just like spending time. Yeah. And I think that actually makes for a really good first date, because like with like a sit down meal, it's so awkward. So excruciatingly awkward.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, let's go to a park and we'll like walk around and do stuff, or like tramp around and go to like a bookstore.
Now, my answer was similar to yours. That I don't want to have like an idea of like a perfect first date, because like a perfect first date for me would be something completely unexpected. So I do like, I've never done it before, but I am into like the idea of like, oh, like let's take turns choosing left or right when we're driving, and like just go on an adventure together and find a place together, or like say like let's go stargazing, or I don't know, something like that.
You mean like what we
Wait,
did?
we went. So we went on a date this weekend. All three of us went on a date for 3 days. Guys, I have something to tell you. We're dating now. We are officially. You guys are dating me.
Yeah.
So mine's kind of similar too, but I was thinking more like going on a hike or going somewhere outdoors, because it forces you to kind of like take all the distractions, put them away, and actually get to know someone. I love movies, but you don't actually get to know them. So
That's
you're
like
like
first date.
right.
Yeah.
You're like, unless you're gonna go dissect it afterwards, which is exactly what I would want to do.
Okay, so there's two. So one is going to a park and just sitting there and people watching and coming up with like stories of like what like those people's lives are like. I love doing that. And then my second one is going to an animal shelter and like playing with the animals and like naming them and then getting too attached and then adopting all of them.
That's a good barometer for the
your
kind of
adopted
person you're dating too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, oh, I don't like. I'm like, oh, I don't like you either.
Yeah.
We should just end it now.
I'm gonna stay here.
Oh
and
my
you
God.
can go.
Yeah.
What's your favorite like dating trope or romance trope in books, and what's your least favorite? My least favorite is insta love.
Yes.
You know,
Same.
that's
Same.
my least favorite is insta love. I don't believe in insta love. I just don't think it's like possible. I do believe in like infatuation or like
Yeah.
lust, but like I don't believe in like insta love. It's just not. I believe in like connection.
Yeah, I
at
believe in
first
that too.
sight. I think that you can have like a really intense connection with someone when you first meet them, but I don't think it's love.
Also agree. Totally not a fan of insta love, but I do like soulmate tropes, especially when it's combined with something like enemies to lovers or things like that. I just feel like it introduces the right amount of tension with the right amount of fate.
Yeah, I think my favorite probably is like enemies too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is.
And I think that's like the best part is the build up, because you're like, are they
Yeah.
gonna kiss? Are they gonna kiss? Are they gonna slap each other? Or not?
When it's like everyone else can see it, they're just like, oh, they totally want to make out right now.
Yeah.
I will add a caveat to that
Oh.
though, because I'm not a fan of slow burn.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
I don't want it to take too long. It can be drawn out, but it reaches a certain point where I'm just like, no, everyone can see this, you can see this. You've been like divided by stupid things that keep popping up out of the woodwork. I'm like, no.
I'm like not opposed to like waiting up until the very last page for the first kiss. I'm like totally fine with that. Just like draw it out as long as you want, because I'm into this tension. I'm like, kiss immediately. Right now.
I think there's a happy medium where like I need a certain amount of tension
Yeah.
beforehand
Yes.
for the kiss to be like gratifying, but like I need a happy moment. Like I need a few like 20 pages where they're just a happy
I need a few 200 pages of
Yes.
this stuff. My favorite trope is best friends to lovers. I'm a huge. I think that's also one of the reasons why I really liked The Astonishing Color of After romance, because I am such a big fan of like two people who have just known each other their whole lives, and then just one day look at each other and it's just like. And then my least favorite is I really hate bad boys. I can't do it. Like if I don't have time to deal with someone who is just like nasty and then it's just like, but secretly they have a heart of gold. It's like, no, dude, like just be nice.
Yeah, I actually don't like bad boys that much either.
Yeah.
I don't like bad boys that like, you know, like the love interest has to like change in
Yeah.
order to like fall in love with and stuff. But I do like mysterious guys.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I do enjoy that.
I was gonna say the same thing. I like it when like like you don't really know who they are or what's about them, but it's the perception. And so it's like the getting to know the character while the love interest is getting to know them, because you're like, everyone has this misconception about you and they have no idea what's going on, and now I do, and now like the reader does and the love interest does, and that's like special.
Tell us about your first crush.
So my first crush was in, I want to say 3rd or 4th grade, and my best friend liked him too. We had like a parent-teacher conference, and our teacher said, write 3 fun facts about you, and your parents are gonna find your 3 fun facts. And he put on his sheet that he had 2 girlfriends, and that was me and my best friend. Yeah. And so everyone was like giggling, they thought it was so funny, and so we were like, what did you say, a throuple? For a hot minute there, and then I started dating his best friend. And so then we were just a group of like, whoa. Yeah. So it was really funny. I think his fun fact was he had 2 girlfriends, and I was one of them.
Who wants to follow that story?
Yeah, right?
I can add something, but it's not as like juicy as yours. So in 1st grade, there was this guy named Ryan that I really liked. But I feel like I only really liked him because we sat next to each other in class. I knew him throughout like middle school and high school and everything too. Became one of those like surfer boys and everything, right? So it was like every YA romance I read, like that kind of guy, like that's what he grew up into. Didn't know how to speak English at the time because I had just like came here from Hong Kong. He like knew I couldn't speak English, but like none of the other kids like understood, but he did. So like instead of like actually like just talking to me, he would like just play with me or like hang out with me at recess and stuff. And this was when I was like really shy too. So yeah. There's still like pictures of like me and him together that in my like photo album. You know how like you made Valentine's back in and then like you always like save the really special ones for for a few grades, because we were in the same like classes for a while. Like for a few grades I like always gave him like the best. Hey Ryan.
In my 2nd year of kindergarten, I was in the class that I stayed with through high school, through 12th grade. And there was a kid in my class, and he was just really cute, and I don't know why I liked him, but I did. Like, he was just like a cute guy that was like fun to hang out with. So Jellybean was in my class from kindergarten through like 4th grade, and I had a crush on him the whole time, and he was really cute. And even in middle school, when I like didn't like him, I was always like, this guy's cute. This guy's cute. And then when he left for high school, sometimes I would stalk his Facebook and I'd be like, he's still cute.
Well, I don't have any memorable crushes in elementary school, but the first like real crush that I had, boy, was in 8th grade, because this kid, his name was Matt, who everyone had a crush on, by the way, because he was like super hot. No, but he was super hot. No, but he was like the guy that like all the girls had a crush on, because he was just like very sweet and very personable, and he was like a jock. He was like on like he was like a hockey player, and he was just like very well liked. Like, because I was like apathetic towards him. Like, we were in a couple classes together, but we were in the music room, and he started playing the piano, and like everyone else was kind of like doing like chopsticks and just like banging around, but he like started like actually playing, and I was like, I didn't know you played the piano, and so I started playing as well. He's like, I didn't know you played the piano, and so we like bonded over that. And there was when I was in choir, I accompanied my choir on a song, and I like learned how to play it and everything, and so my teacher would let me come into the classroom early in the morning so I could practice on the piano. And there was like one morning where it was like, you know, like 6 or 6:30 in the morning, and he like showed up at the door, and I was like, hey Matt, what are you doing here? He was like, I was just like walking around, and I like heard someone playing, and then I realized it was you. And he like came in and like listened to me play, and I know,
why are you not in love?
So I feel like I always have to like divorce the like actual crushes that I had from the like performative crushes on girls, but I do have a funny elementary school story about my elementary school girlfriend. We were very serious.
Wow, of course.
We would go into the woods at recess time and with our friends.
You little
Nine. Go into the woods and we would sing like Disney love duets to each other and force our friends to sing backup.
Of all the things that I thought you were going to say, that was the last thing I expected you to say.
So anyways, I'm gay.
I keep picturing you guys do Frozen, but that's like definitely not this next.
There was a period of time where we were very into doing, I think, Far Longer Than Forever from the Swan Princess,
Oh
which is
my
like a deep cut, like not even Disney, just like deep
I
cut.
loved that movie.
I'm crying.
So beautiful.
I have
so
such a
interesting.
Swan Lake fixation,
Yeah.
so like, yeah,
Oh my god, you're like really crying.
rip Val.
I love it.
Well, because we tried to fit the songs into like a loose little narrative
Oh my
about
God.
our like forbidden love. So then we broke up because she ruined Santa and the Easter Bunny for me. So
Oh.
What a...
Is there a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, like, love isn't just romantic, right? So, like,
Yeah.
I see love mostly as platonic.
Mm.
If anything, like, I love you guys. Like, I love my family. I love, like, my best friends. Anyway, like, I feel like love is, like, you deeply care about someone. You want, like, you care about, like, their well-being and, like, you just want the best for them and stuff. And then, like, you love different parts of their, like, like, you just, like, see different qualities in them that, like, you really admire and you really appreciate. And I think, like, that's loving someone. I think it's easy to love someone. I think it's easy to, like, find things that you really like about people. But being in love with someone, I think is definitely more romantic than it is, like, platonic. I think, like, being in love with someone is, like,
I think about it in terms of like what you're in control over. Because
Yeah.
I think that when it's loving someone, that I think that's definitely part of it is a choice. You're just like,
Yes.
I choose
It
to love
definitely
you.
is, yes.
Whereas when like this idea of being in love, like that's something that is not necessarily in your control. Like you can't decide if you're gonna fall in love with someone, but
Yeah.
you can choose whether or not you're going to love them.
I think
Yeah.
to a certain extent, being in love with someone requires like saying yes to that feeling though.
Yeah.
Because you can like feel yourself falling for someone and pull away from it,
Yeah.
but if you kind of say yes and go, so I think there's still some choice there.
Yeah, no, I think that I think that both of it is there is choice involved in it. I think that there are so many stories where it's like I didn't choose to be in love with this person specifically. It just happened.
So the camera died. So now we're gonna film it this way instead. Anyway, we were talking about the difference between love and being in love.
I was saying right before the camera died that I feel like being in love is a lot more emotionally intense, whereas like loving someone can be a little bit more of a passive experience, and like it doesn't necessarily like bring you to tears. Whereas like being in love, I think, is a lot more immediate and a lot more painful. You know?
Yeah.
Love is pain.
I feel like sometimes we as humans confuse what being in love is and what being like loving someone is, and I feel like that happens a lot in books that you see, like for example the book you were talking about where they're like, should we stay together when we move to college or whatever. It's like you can still care about someone so deeply and love them, but not necessarily need to be with them in that way. And so I feel like sometimes we confuse it because we want the connection to still be there in a lot of ways. But I also feel like being in love with someone is like, should be, in my opinion, passionate and like consuming, and almost like when you're in love with someone, it's a physical, like your heart hurts when you're away from them, and you like really want, like, it's like your heart. I remember the first time like I said I love
Look,
you to
man.
someone, it was like
Yeah.
you felt your, like, literally my heart soar. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
a physical feeling. And not just meaning like romantically or anything, but I feel like that's kind of a separate, like, I love and miss my mom a lot, but it's not the
Yeah.
same, like, sort.
Have you guys been in love before?
Oh my gosh, this question. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not.
It's nice.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It is, but also like I was crying all the time, like always crying, just like sobbing.
Yeah.
I had never done like I don't usually cry tears of joy. The first time I fell in love, like first of all, when we expressed our love for each other, I was sobbing my eyes out and like not in a good way. Like it was not cute. There was snot. It was gross.
Guess that's what I have to look forward to.
Yeah, just constant crying.
I mean, it's different for everyone. I feel like when I was first falling in love, it was so organic. Like, it was so natural to me. It was like, everything was flowing, like, very nicely. and I
Everyone
felt
teach
like,
me your ways.
Right. It was just like, we were really good friends, and I, like, really remember just wanting to, like, hang out and be with him all the time and know who he is and his soul. And so, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but I think it's great that it was that for you.
Just sobbing all the time. Yeah. That's what I want.
Well, you know the first guy I fell in love with and stuff. It's a very dramatic experience.
Which is very
and
on
stuff.
brand.
Very on brand. I have very YA romances in my life.
Truly.
Yeah,
Very
you really
YA
do.
romances. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What about you, Bill?
Tell us.
Falling in love?
Yes, I have. A little bit of the friends to lovers thing. So
I love that.
yeah. And I will say the first I love yous were said at a train station, which is very cute.
Aww.
So being love's fun. Do it. Big fan.
Take the plunge.
Take the plunge. It's a lot of fun. Like you said, it's very emotionally driven.
Yeah.
Especially I think the very first time you feel it, it's like
Yeah. It's
very jarring.
Cool.
Yeah. I feel like I'd also like felt it but not said it
Yeah.
in a couple of like other
Yeah.
relationships before actually being like, no, this is worth putting out into the world.
On that note, we love love. We love love so much, but also I hate love sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
Now
can be very
I'm just
painful.
like,
it's a love-hate
love is
relationship.
dead. I just want to read books about murders.
Oh yeah, we got novelty cups.
Wow.
Alright. So February novelty is over.
And that's the tea.
Alright, cheers. Bye guys. See you next month. Bye.